Hello and welcome back to Vox Terra. The show's purpose it is to get us to help others focus politics on the long-term survival of our species and make that the priority. So to that end today, I just want to push back against this idea that the Trump administration floats around and its sympathetic media outlets like to float around. The economy was doing great, but for COVID-19. Now, I first picked up that was a thing, as they say now, that was a thing, when I was at a training or a workshop, and this woman there I was working with she said she's upset about the closures starting to take place. This is before the big closures, because, this COVID-19 is not so bad. People die from all kinds of things, car crashes and the flu. Well, okay, first of all, that says there's a big problem with the nature of our economy. Before I get to that, though, before I even get to the fact that we don't hear Trump promoting a green economy, a less polluting, less toxic, less dangerous economy, before I even touch that, just in terms of, I could just, for lack of a better way of putting it, call it regular economic analysis, or just kind of a more standard view of the economy based on, is everybody making money and how's the GDP doing, regardless if that making money is actually pumping our earth full of carcinogens and greenhouse gases. That aside, I don't think it was doing as great as people say. I remember when I was hearing the stock market, okay? I heard Trump when he was campaigning in 2016, and I agreed with this point. He criticized President Barack Obama, saying, the market isn't doing as great as everybody, something like, I'm paraphrasing Donald Trump now. The market's not doing as great as everybody says. Obama administration has been holding interest rates down artificially low, and that's propping up the stock market. And that was propping up the stock market. I thought that was a good observation on his part. Then when he gets into office, he does the same thing, keeps those interest rates down low, and that propped up the stock market. Well, how does that work? It works because interest rates were so low, investors really had nowhere to go with their money except into stocks and other assets like real estate. And I've been hearing on the business shows for years, going back to the Obama administration, the stock market's overvalued. The stock market's overvalued. The stocks are too expensive for how much money they're actually making. Real estate, other assets are all too expensive for how much money they can actually make. So that's before COVID-19. So that's one. The stock market was overvalued anyway, and investors were waiting for an excuse or a reason to pull out. They were hoping it would be because interest rates went up and they'd put their money in the banks. Two, look, what he was doing, cutting taxes, including, I believe, lowering the deduction thresholds for estate tax. It's already, really high. You got to have like millions of dollars in the state before they tax you. And I think in his tax cut package, he, made it even higher before they tax you on the estates. Well, look, that doesn't help average people out. So I'm not sure why, average people want to think he's really on their side. I don't think so. Okay, so you cut taxes, and then you're in deficit spending now. So really, it's a borrow and spend situation. And I've heard Republicans, and again, I'm not super partisan on Democrats, but on the big things, I tend to agree with them more on some of the big things anyway. So, it's tax and spend. It's not tax and spend. It's borrow and spend. And I don't see what's to brag about. Anybody could do borrow and spend and make the economy get moving. And it was done during good times. During the times when, to me, it would have been a lot more prudent to save money aside, set money aside, and then start transitioning towards an economy that actually makes sense, towards a less polluting, less toxic, greener economy that's focused on the long-term survival of our species. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please share it. Please subscribe. Please click that notification button so you get notified when I put up a video. Constructive criticism, supportive comments are welcome. Are bargaining, insults are not. And until next time, peace be with you.